Hey everybody, I just wanted to do a video for all my friends and family and anyone else who's interested on some of my cooking. I've actually been wanting to do this for a while, but for whatever reason I haven't. Now that we have Wendy's new camera, I figured what the heck, let's start. Today we're going to be doing paella, something I learned when I was in Spain. I'm going to lay out the ingredients here for you. First, we have rice, and this is some Calaspara rice from Spain that my mother-in-law got me. Calaspara rice is known for absorbing a lot of liquid. Whoops. And so you actually, normally when you do rice, it's like two parts liquid for every part rice. This stuff will do between 2 and 3 times liquid. So it absorbs a lot more. So if we have a lot of good flavor in the liquid, that'll help a lot. We've also got some shrimp. We're going to be doing some shrimp. Also some great olive oil. I've got some garlic here, some artichoke hearts here. I've cut up a green and a red pepper. I've got some garbanzo beans. I'm going to use the entire can. I got about a half of a can of tomato paste. And, oh yes. So this is about 2.5 cups or so of rice. This is about 6 cups of water with salt and saffron. Saffron's what's making it that golden color, and it's what's going to give it a lot of its flavor. This stuff's kind of expensive. You can see the saffron floating in there. It's kind of expensive, but it's the stuff that really gives it the paella its color and its flavor. It's really good stuff. So what we're going to do first is start by putting a little bit of olive oil in the pan. This pan's been warming up. And of course olive oil is the best because you gotta have olive oil. Next, we're going to put in, actually, the tomato paste. Some people are gonna argue with me and say that's not how you make a paella if you've ever made a paella. I'm just telling you what I was taught when I was in Spain. So I'm gonna put that tomato paste in there. Put that to the side. The next thing I'm gonna put in is the garlic. And I'm going to give this some time to heat up. The pan isn't super hot yet. My bad, folks. I'm so sorry. So we're going to let that heat up. While we're letting that heat up, normally this is when I would prep everything else, but since it's prepped, I'll go ahead and say that paella is super, super good. This is something our family loves. We eat it as often as we can. It's something I brought home with me, and so far all of the family likes it every time I make it. Now you don't have to always make it with shrimp. You can do it with chicken, preferably with the skin on, just to retain the flavor. I'm actually not going to put this shrimp in until the very end because this shrimp's already been cooked. Normally if I had regular shrimp that hadn't been cooked, I would clean it, devein it and everything, and then I'd probably cook it a little bit at first, pull it off, and then put it back in at the end. Just not so as not to overcook it. I'm also going to grab myself a little bit of the spatula and just kind of move this stuff around. That's going to be nice and tasty. Yeah. One other thing I forgot, and this is kind of important, is paprika. Paprika is really good. Now you can get regular paprika, or you can get the smoked paprika, whatever you care to eat. I prefer the regular paprika. I don't like the smokiness so much in my paella. That's just me. But paella is kind of like a hodgepodge of anything you want, really. I found when I was in Spain, people put in just kind of whatever they want. There was that basic recipe that everyone followed, but after that it was, I'm going to use this, I'm going to use that. I use non-smoked. That's just my opinion. I'm going to put a little bit in now in the oil, just to give some of that flavor. You can see it's already starting to cook. I'm just going to put a couple pinches of paprika in there. Make it nice. Okay, one other thing. Now that this stuff right here is kind of getting good, I'm going to go ahead and throw in the peppers. Sometimes I'll throw in the peppers towards the end, and they'll make a really elegant and really pretty paella. But I am going to not do that. just for sake of time. Anyway, do that, and then I'm going to throw the garbanzos in there as well. And I actually don't mind some of the juice from the garbanzo beans. I don't drain the whole can. And that's just because it gives it a little bit more flavor. I don't mind the hodgepodge flavor so much. The other thing I'm going to throw in at this point, the artichoke hearts. Now that they're all in there, I'm also just going to give it a good stir. Try to mix those flavors up. Now, one thing I want to make clear, paella is not risotto. So, risotto, when you're cooking the rice and the broth and everything, you're pretty much constantly stirring it, and that's what gives it that nice creaminess. Paella is not so. Once you get the rice down and the liquid on the rice, it's done. It's over. You leave it. The other thing that'll help do is creates, if you leave it on the burner at the bottom, it almost gets burnt. Not quite, but it gets really close to getting burnt. It caramelizes all the carbohydrates in there, and it becomes a nice sweet flavor, and it's just crusty. It's really good. It's almost like paella caramel. So the other thing too is this is a paella pan. This is specifically made for paellas. I actually picked this up at Costco. I haven't seen them at Costco for a long time. You can buy them online. This one's a non-stick. A lot of times they're not non-stick, which is fine. They get a nice patina on them as you cook with them over time. I like this one because it's big enough for our family. It's a non-stick. It's really easy to clean up. And it comes with this handy-dandy lid to go on top that I can see through. So I really like this. I picked this one up for 20 bucks. It was a steal when I got home from Spain. As you can see, all the flavors are really starting to mix. The paella is nice and hot. I'm going to turn down the heat just a little bit. At this point, I'm actually going to put the rice on. I'm just going to sprinkle it over. Like that. Another thing you can do with paella, and it's pretty common, is use like chicken stock to give it some flavor. It doesn't matter if you do or you don't. I don't most of the time because I'm using the saffron. I prefer the saffron flavor over the chicken stock or the vegetable broth. But it's really up to you. It does give it a different flavor. It is very rich. It's still really good. I just really like the saffron by itself. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let this sit here for just a minute or two, and then we're going to pour the liquid on. Now again, once we pour the liquid on, there is no stirring this. I might stir this up just a little bit just to kind of make it completely uniform. The other thing is, with this rice, this Calasparra rice, the closest thing that we have here in the States that I found that's not crazy expensive is just the pearl rice or the barley rice. It's also a short grain. It's a little bit more spherical than long, like you would get with, say, the jasmine rice. I really like that one as a good substitute. But I got this one for Christmas, so I thought, hey, why not use it now? Because it's really good stuff. You still filming?
Yeah.
Okay. So here's our saffron broth. It smells divine, and it really is divine. This stuff's super expensive. It'd be like the most expensive food coloring in the world. Anna wants to smell it, so I'm going to let her smell it too real quick. Anyway, the other thing I've added to this already is salt. So there's salt in here, and I just did it to taste, so you can do that however you want it. I do that because I don't like to add salt later and then try to figure out if it's salty enough. With this, I know. Now, there's already some salt in there from like the tomato paste and stuff, but I find it's not enough salt to really flavor the rice. This is what's going to give it most of its salty flavor. So I'm just going to go ahead and add this in right now. And I'm going to pour it in over the whole thing and try to be equal about it. And you see that nice orange flavor? Oh, that's what we're looking for. Want every last strand of saffron in there. Because that is good stuff. Okay. Alright, and again, we're just going to let that sit and cook. Now, because this pan is so big, and my burner's not made for a paella pan. I'm going to have to move it around a little bit just to be able to get it on. Now, if you're making this for 2 to 4 people, you can just put this into a really big saucepan that you might have at home. It doesn't matter, you don't have to make it this big. Works great for, like I said, 2 to 4 people. But like I said, we're feeding a family of 7, so this is what's going to work for us tonight. Okay, so the liquid's almost all gone. I'm going to add the shrimp at this point. And this is where you get a little artistic. I'm not super artistic, but I'll try my best. And the reason why I put it on again so late in the game is because the shrimp's already cooked, and I just didn't want to overcook it. It's still a little frozen, but by the time we get everything done, it'll be fine. This is Summer's favorite part because she loves the shrimp.
And I'm right here.
Yes, you are right here. Okay. And again, also, this is where in Spain they would make it really decorative, and they'd put the peppers and stuff in different areas, or make lines out of them. They'd also use lemons and all kinds of stuff just to make it look cool. Tonight I'm not about making it look cool so much as about just getting it done so we can have some food for the family to eat. Usually once all the liquid is kind of done bubbling up, you know it's done. You can also, of course, take a little bit of the rice just to see if it's done. I took some just a couple minutes ago, and we're pretty much there. We'll let these shrimp warm up and cover it for just a couple minutes, and then we should be good to go, yo. We're pretty much done. I'll show you right here. I put the lid on again just to help some of that heat warm up the shrimp. Again, if these were not cooked shrimp, then I probably would have cooked them while I was cooking all the vegetables, pulled them out, and then put them back in again so they wouldn't be overcooked. And take this off and give you the big reveal. Looks beautiful. In Spain, traditionally, you would put this on in the center of the table and everyone would just eat out of the pan. Or if you want, you can be less traditional Spaniard and more traditional US and just, put it on your own plate. However you want to do it. Always recommended to put a little bit of lemon juice on top or a little lime if you want. Both work really well. I hope you guys enjoy this. If you have any questions about it, just let me know. And Buen Provecho.